chance on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Fingers to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is the watch list, and we need to talk about get even and get out. That is the theme, okay? It's going to be weird, but I'm sure you've heard about it. GameStop, AMC, they are all going crazy, but this is where it gets crazier. This was also a record week for Apple and another record week for GameStop. Literally, GameStop has went up more consecutively than it did during January. So the prices are different. I know this isn't all about GameStop. We're going to talk about it. I am really going to recap today. We have a bunch of different things to go on. Here is this SPY. There's a couple of key points that you need to see. So we're going to get back to this. But today had a lot. You got more clarification out of Biden. I mean, quite simply, today was all about oil going down. China shut down Shanghai and the demand destruction. China's the #1 importer. People got worried. Oil ended up going down. There was reports of the poisoning with Abramovich and a couple of Ukrainian people. We got more updates on that. And then on top of it, you had more bond movements, and then you got more peace talk discussions. So we got a lot to go over. I got a couple plays. I got 2 or 3 different ones that I'm looking at for tomorrow. We had a good one, and then just where we're playing out and how do you handle this volatility. I'm telling you, it is very important. I wish you the best of luck. I do have a strategy for you, so let's get into it and see what happens. And I'll tell you the story with this shirt. So this one, I saw it. I was wearing it the other day. I'm like, hella, okay, anyways. But it's like, I just saw it. It had a tag on it. It was a sample for one of the merch ones, and I wanted to wear it, so then I wore it, and then, I don't know, it looked kind of weird, but then I thought you guys would get a laugh out of it, so we'll see, and then I'm just going to start wearing, all the random, you're going to see. Okay, anyways, I love you. Like the video. I'll see you on stream, youtube.com/thestockmarket, baby. Okay, anyways, before I get into the get even and get out, we got to talk about that. I'm just going to recap quickly what happened today. There was a lot of different things. So the first thing, you can see the SPY here. Here are the points. We ended up gapping up, and the bonds actually went lower in Fed futures. They are now pricing in, I believe, about 9 rate hikes. We've been going over. It's still the same situation as a couple weeks ago, but we were up. The bonds ended up going down. There was even some downgrades on the banks, and the banks really got clapped today. This one kind of slipped beneath the surface. It started with a couple of bank downgrades by some of the analysts there, or one of the big banks, and then there was Credit Suisse. They got investigated for potentially helping people skirt the Russia sanctions. And then finally Barclays, they're the ones related to the VXX. Remember when that broke? Well, they might have other costs with it, and then somebody filed or they filed a sale of a 500 million share block trade. That's worth at least $1 billion, and it was at a 10% decline. So banks got absolutely mollywopped today. That wasn't good, but it did help a little bit here with the bonds today. Market was still up, and then right here, this is where you got the Roman Abramovich, the rich billionaire oligarch of Russia. They said he was poisoned. So this was the headline. They said Abramovich suffered suspected poisoning, but they also said other people in the Ukraine peace delegation, and then this guy here, Rustem Emirov, he is part of the Ukrainian peace delegation. He even came out later today and he said, I'm fine. This is my response to all the yellow news spreading around. Please do not trust any unverified information. We have an informational war ongoing as well. I agree, but that's what he said, and then boom, you see it here on the SPY. Things started to chill out a little bit, and then there was right here, this was another peace talk thing, and they pretty much said that Russia is willing to drop the demand of denazifying Ukraine. And why people like this, because then that means that Russia is not looking for a total takeover, and that they are willing to kind of just take a little bit, but they're not trying to really overthrow the entire regime there in in Ukraine. So that was the next thing. And then Biden came on. He announced the tax bill, but ironically enough, all the questions he talked about had nothing to do with it. Wall Street already said it's probably not going to be a big deal, but he said he has no regrets. He said he is not walking back anything from what he said. So he was saying he was expecting or expressing his outrage, and he said, I wasn't then, nor am I now articulating a policy change. Now, a lot of people still have questions. It doesn't mean that Russia won't take it the same way. I still think it's kind of important here, but that is what he said, and market was kind of doing its thing from there. But those are pretty much the only updates. There was one more thing. Again, we're probably going to see this, and it was after Biden spoke, but apparently now the NATO allies are split on whether they should talk to Putin or not. Pretty much a lot of them don't want to. Then you got Macron in France. He's been talking to Putin and he's willing to. It's kind of showing some of the divisiveness. And guess what? March 31st, that is going to be the demand payment for any energy to the Europe. They will have to do it in rubles, or Russia will be cutting off their supplies. And then we got one more update here. Remember, today with China and them closing down Shanghai, this killed oil. It slowed commodities down. And then we got some more agriculture data, and this is here. It's saying we extended the loss as traders are assessing the outlook, and they're saying that Russia and Ukraine may curb the outlook. And then the United States had a report, and they said they expect a lot of the U.S. to start planting more to ease things and use price signals, and they're not really too worried because they said a lot of planters are already starting to plant here, and we are a net exporter. So we'll see how this one plays out. And here's a little segment I think you might like from it. They said traders are also waiting for U.S. planning outlook due later this week from the government. Analysts surveyed by Bloomberg expect the data to show lower corn acreage versus last season and bigger soybean planting. So pretty much this is a catalyst if you're playing any of them. We'll see what this data brings. So that was pretty much all of what we got today. And now to the final point. Get in or get even and get out. What does this have to do with? AMC, GameStop, any of these tech plays, or a lot of things going on. And am I telling you this as advice? No, that is not what I'm nodding my head. I don't know if you can see the hair shadow, okay? I'm not telling you this is what you have to do, but this is how people are describing what is going on. There is definitely some level of short squeeze occurring right now. That's what you're seeing from crypto all the way down to GameStop and AMC, but now a lot of people are trying to assess, okay, is this a real squeeze? Is this like a real bounce where, remember during COVID where things were still bad, but then at one point we stopped responding to case numbers, then started looking at deaths and other things, and then market was able to climb back up, right? Well, that's what people are trying to figure out. Is this one of these moments where, yeah, okay, everything's priced in and people are buying it now, but no, we think the bond market moves. The market's already fully expecting it. The Fed, Russia, Ukraine, it can't really get too much worse. Again, you're seeing what's happening with energy, oil. We've already dealt with the worst of it. So some people are thinking, yes, you buy the dip here, but now only time will tell. What we're about to see, is this going to be the get even and get out typical bear rally or bear market rally? I mean, Jim Cramer said the bear market's over. I don't know how long we've even been in a bear market, but we will see. But now this is what you got to keep in mind. And one thing I've been saying all day today, and this is the real lesson of here today. I mean, if you guys want to play this, one, you learned a lot of things in the last 12 to 24 months. We all did. Everybody got a little FOMO in them. Everybody went after things, and now you see where it is. Everyone kind of, you did good, you did bad. It depends really what it is, but I know you learned this. Everything has its turn. That's it. Everybody's going to take turns. Literally, if it's the growth stocks, if it's the tech stocks, the ones for earnings. You had AMC, GME. They had their 3 months, their 6 months. Then it switched to SPACs or from SPACs, and then it went to value stocks. So keep that in mind. The point is, where do you end up? But now, let me give you something it's a good advice for trading. I've been saying this. This applies if you want to go after the puts and you want to play in this volatile market. But guess what? It applies right here, right now, with any of these hype stocks. You want to go after penny stocks, GMC, all of that. Just play small. That's it. It's very, very simple. A small amount for big gains. That'll get you what you want. But I said this today. Make sure you have enough moves because the whole year is going to be crazy. So don't get clapped now where you're not able to keep it chugging along. So play small. Keep it small. If things go crazy, a small amount at the right time, boom, it'll be good for you. So that is my tip and advice. And none of this recommendation, opportunity, limited, getting no financial advice, because no purpose, only think of it on the day. But let's get into the plays. Let us get into the plays. That's how. Let us get into the plays. I'll let you hear. I have to do it multiple times, when I record. So I'm just, yeah. Anyway, so as far as the plays today, I do got a couple of things I'm looking at. Some of the oil plays actually held up premium, and that was good. Like we said, the tech and safe havens, Tesla even went up today on that stock split news. So even beyond the social media stuff, they said there was a move, or they want to at the annual shareholder meeting to approve more shares, which would enable another stock split. So Tesla, safe havens, I'm still watching them. Did not make any other plays, but the first play I got on here, it's related to the hype. It's related to asset actually moving, short squeeze, everything like that. Coinbase, they were in the gutter. They're coming back up. Crypto is at the highest point right now for 2022. I saw the options were kind of cheap with a decent amount of time, so I said, all right, let's run it. I decided to go here, and I grabbed an April 14th 245 call. I spent about $1.20 in the morning. They closed around 150 to 175, but gonna ride this one out for a little bit. We did even make a Beto on the random play, baby. Shout out to Colt, and we'll see where this one goes from here, but gonna watch this. I think it's gonna be more of a trade until we can really determine, is it get even and get out, or is this kind of the start to something? Are people gonna wait for earnings and all of that? And then now that leads to the second play, Micron. I did not make a play on this, and here's the option chain. This is the reason why I didn't today. They have earnings tomorrow. We may be able to play it tomorrow for a pre-earnings run-up, but today, even off of the open, even after the dip, they were already up like 20 or 30%. So I wasn't too down with that, but watch out for that. Watch out for earnings on the way. Micron is definitely going to be one to watch. And then finally, I went with cheap Spy and Vixx plays. So I played this after the poisoning news. Again, I could have been overreacting, and I knew that's the potential. And it's not only just like overreacting, but it's just like, that's the environment that we're in. How many times have we seen news come out, it gets ignored, and then ultimately people respond to it? So it's like, I'm not really expecting too much in this market, but this level of volatility and all that, I got to play it small. So I grabbed one play. I grabbed a Spy April 14th 403 put. I grabbed one of them, spent $50. It dropped like 38%. And then I grabbed a UVXY $15 call for $1. It dropped like 38%. Again, after that, today's move, we got clapped, but even both of those plays, $150, and that's my logic here. I like that news as it was coming out. I was like, this is a little bit weird. We'll see what it leads to. The comments of yesterday and everything else, I said, all right, let me go for it, but the key was you play it small. Very, very simple. So those were the main three plays. Those are what I'm going to be watching for coming into tomorrow. I still have the EWG and the VGK. My mind is not changed on those. As far as anything else, I will be watching Micron, like we said. Watch GME and AMC, see how they play out. You even had Newegg. They were going crazy as well, too. Which one? Ford. They started to go up a little bit. I think that one's interesting. NVIDIA, watch them as a sympathy there to anything going on with Micron and their earnings. And then oil plays in Intel. Intel is well related to Micron, and the plays from last week, they came down a little bit, so watch out for that. And then oil, like I said, those PSX oil plays didn't really drop too much, so we'll see how it plays out related to China and everything else. But for the most part, everything I want to really be playing, I'm already in it. So we're watching the back and forth. We still got the fertilizers, aluminum, and all those different ones. Bonds, the divergence is still big, and this is what we're waiting for. Again, a lot of people are saying market's expecting it. A lot of people are now start saying it's not, and really, this is what I said on the video. Here's a simple version of it. I think once this starts getting to 2.75 or even higher, that's probably where the market is going to be forced to respond. So I hope you're ready, and I hope you see you. I always mess up the end. I hope I see you in the morning, baby. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your plays. Make sure I love you, baby. And don't forget, man, we need love in the presence, okay? A man that has no love in the presence and can't manifest it, he has love not. I totally butchered it, but I love you, baby. God bless you. I'll see you in the morning. And peace out. Goodbye. Peace.